This is Chris from Finatical, and welcome to Flash Reports. So in this video, I'll quickly take you through just a quick start, just how to get up and running using Flash Reports. So as you can see from my screen now, what you would actually start off with is, first of all, to install the add-in. If you haven't done that yet, you'd actually find that, just by clicking on add-ins over there, select looking for Flash, and then installing the Flash add-in. Okay, once you've done that, this will appear up here. And then you can just click Start, to start off with, and then click Login. As you click Login, you'll see basically that you'll come up and you just enter your username, your QBO email address that you use to log on to QBO with, and then you just enter your password. Once it's fully loaded and detailed, then you can actually just connect your companies, right? And here you could actually maybe see if someone else is your admin, then you'll see the companies that have been shared with you. Otherwise, you can actually just click on Connect to QuickBooks, and then you actually just log on to the relevant company that you want to log on to. So you just click there, and then just click whatever company you want to connect to. Now I am connected. So Flash operates here with the ribbon here at the top here, and then that works alongside just here on the right-hand side with this task pane that you can see. And there's various options that come up here in which you can run various types of reports. And there's also various templates that you can execute that will actually automatically generate reports for you. Here, to start off with, what I'm just quickly going to run is a quick dashboard for you. There, I'm just going to step through the menu path over here. And there you just select the company that you want to run it for. And then here, for your dashboard, select last month, click next. If you've got a budget, then you essentially just select which budget you want to include in that as well. You click next, here's some custom styling, and then just click next and then let it create the dashboard for you. You might just have to give it a few seconds for it to complete. But as we can see here now is that my dashboard has completed. And so what I've got here is essentially some 4 KPIs here at the top. For my P&L items, here's balance sheet items. If I scroll down, we can see, and I'm just going to maybe increase here. Here's a trend report basically showing income and expenses for the past 12 months. Some period comparisons, income categories, expenses, and some other reports down here at the bottom, and some budget versus actuals here as well. This is totally refreshable, so you can always just run this, just for different periods as well. So let's just run that, and then you'll see it'll automatically also just refresh. There's a video on the YouTube channel that addresses, just how to make changes, to your dashboard. So just be sure to check that out. Okay, so what I want to do next here is just run a basic report. Just from our QuickStart menu. And so I'm just going to click there on Report, go QuickStart. I'm just going to take a basic P&L. So there's a couple of choices over there. And I'm just going to click Next here. Okay, so what I just want to show here is that Flash makes use of cell referencing to populate the formula that we've inserted in each of the cells. And so here we can see, if I just open this up, we can see here that just with cell referencing, right, we basically populate the parameters are needed in order to get fresh values from QBO. So company is there directed to A1, right, and then we can see it resolve with stock industries. B4, B5 is my period. Actual versus budget come from B6, and account comes from there. There's a number of other parameters that can be populated as well, classes, departments, projects. I'm not doing that at the moment. But yeah, so as we can see now from that cell referencing, if I then change any of the parameters which are referenced, then that will initiate a new values to be drawn from QBO. So I'm just going to go and change the date there. And let's maybe say just this is, I'm just going to change it to this quarter. And there we can see new values just being pulled into, right, into this report. You can very quickly also use this report, right, to basically just make a comparison between actual versus budget. And then any other type of calculation. So there, I can pull in budget values, and it's primarily because, right, I'm pulling that through. And then we can also build a quick, variance report here as well. So any type of custom reporting is also actually just possible as well, right? So there I can use basically a basic selection there. And then I can use standard Excel formatting basically to bring that over. And so there we can see right now I've built a basic, quick report which is then refreshable if I leave those dates over there. Right, I just click this refresh button, and then it will essentially pull new values here into QBO. So the next thing that I'll show you is just maybe how to make use of the more advanced functionality after you've run some of those QuickStart reports, is even maybe just in terms of other reports that you can build. So in that section, with our summary reports, there's a whole number of options. So let's run it for stock again. But now I can actually run reports there. I can select, just from a template perspective, what my columns should be. So here we can see I can either choose my columns as periods, or I can choose them as one of my dimensions. So what I want to show you next is just how to run maybe more, one of the more, say, sophisticated reports. And just by following the wizard, we can just build our report. So I'm just going to select here a P&L again. And then here, I'm going to run that, for stock industries for last month. I can essentially choose my columns, how I want to display the columns. And I can either choose that by period, or I can choose various dimensions. And so for the moment now, let me maybe just, I'm just going to take total for now. But maybe, what I am going to do here is in terms of a filter for my report, I'm going to select class. So I'll select class over there. I can include a budget comparison. And then here, this will actually, include some variance values and percentage value calculations for me. Right, so it's called to report for me. And so what we can see now from a cell referencing perspective, right, that all my, I basically got, actual versus budget, and now it has built those variances for me. Because these cells actually reference, that as the date parameter, I can actually change that to last quarter, and then you can see the results actually refreshing as well. Because we're pulling in values at the cell level, right, all formatting here, anything that we're doing here remains intact. My numbers remain all intact. Okay, so, but we have actually now included class as a filter. So what I can select there is now just in terms of that cell, right, now I can essentially filter by class. And there we can see, just my values essentially just refreshing there as well. So there I'm selecting, different class, and then we can see the values just refreshing as well in for my whole P&L. And that's brought about, just through because, we've now included class as one of my filters over there. So you can really use the wizard to build various dimensions of different reports, either all columns, and include them either at the top, and then also, as filters as well. So as you explore Flash reports, just step through the menu parts over here and then have a look at which reports you would like to run. And then you just essentially just follow, just the remainder of the wizard. You select your company, whatever period you want, and then you just select execute, right, or import. Step through the summary reports as well. There's a whole number of options over here. I think that number of things that you'll find interesting. Charts and dashboards, right? So income and expenses trend, even an income and expenses forecast. So let's have a look at the trend report. And I think here, if I execute on that, and you can also filter on that as well. Here you'll essentially see that this also just brings up a graph. Here we're basically pulling in, what we're seeing here is just essentially is my income and expenses, right? And total income and expenses, and net income as three graphs here, for the period that I've run it for. So here we can see it's basically for the 6 months to date now, but you can essentially run that, for any period. If you do maintain, just a budget in QBO, one that you would probably actually enjoy is just your income and expenses forecast. And then this is basically where I can run it for this year. And then this would combine, your actual and budget values, and it'll just create a new chart for you. You can also include a filter for that, and it will actually be able to, just filter by class or any other values as well. So what we can see here is essentially just here, I'm in basically almost now, mid-year in 2025. What I can see here is that I've got all my actual data, so income and expenses, total here for my first 6 months of the year. And then I'm pulling in budget data, from that area over there, from my budget, from QBO, and it shows me just what my trend is going to be for the remainder of the year. So Flash can really be used for a whole number of scenarios, where we combine income, and expenses, but with actual and budgets, to create, future and new forecast. So just to come back, yeah, just explore, all the various, just step through all the wizards, and you can actually just execute them. There's a wizard that'll take you through, each of these options, and yeah, just try and build some reports, and then just refresh them, just with different date parameters. The last thing to show you is also just here at the bottom of any page, you'll see just there, just the YouTube channel. If you click on that, that will take you directly, just to our YouTube channel. There you'll find a whole number of learning videos, fairly short. So just step through them. Here's one, best practice with charts. There's actually, if you want a video, if you want to update, make changes to your chart. With this absolute and relative cell referencing, I encourage you just to have a look at this 2-minute video from Mr. Excel, and this will show you, just how to work and how to adjust, just the cell referencing for the formula to customize and build, any type of reports that you would want. But yeah, just have a look through that. And then also, if you have any other questions as well, you can go through to our help file as well. Here you can search for various answers. There's documentation and support. You can just contact us if you need any assistance. And yeah, but we are most definitely here to help and to support you, during as you start and get to know Flash. And we look forward to you having fun with Flash reports. Thank you.